that is painful. I'm so good. I'm so freaking good. I am so good.
I'm cooking the bacon and
so freaking good at this game. But God, absolute freaking God. You guys want to be relegated from the Austrian top league. Your expectation was to avoid relegation after finishing second 2 years in a row. And you tell me that on the road against Stade Rennais, a top 3 team in France, and we out XG them. And I tell you, hey, sucks we lost, thought we played well. And you're like, no. So I can sit there and gripe about the new dynamics in Football Manager and how challenging they can be sometimes. And sometimes they just don't make any sense. 200,000 as the asking price. Just literally give me $200,000 for Luka Petrovic. Give me like 175. I just offered him out for 200,000. What the hell is wrong with 180,000? I just offered him out for 200,000. We didn't hear a peep. 180,000. He's like, well, hold on there just a second. A lot of the time it makes sense. It's just more challenging and can have a much more dire effect on your team. Over the last 2 days on my stream, which you can obviously check out, link in the description to the Twitch channel or the live YouTube channel if you just want to watch episodes of the streams, I actually ruined my morale as a club, like with one team talk at the wrong time, and it took me a whole stream and a half to find a way to get my morale back up. I'm going to help you not do that and teach you ways to turn it around if you accidentally do that, because I accidentally do that and I play this game 25 hours a day. And we need to start at the root of the problem. The root of the problem is in dynamics. And I feel like if you haven't played the game for a long time, or you haven't played FM22 for a long time, understanding how titanically one day, one wrong sentence, one mistake can completely ruin your season is it's kind of hard. For me, it was a team talk. For you, it might be somebody not getting the playing time that you wanted. I've made other videos about dynamics, but never has it been this severe, because I went from very good club atmosphere to below average club atmosphere one game, one click. And your club atmosphere, which is kind of the average morale of the people in the club, which is so often reflected when you're looking at your tactic in these arrows over here that you want to be green, that affects the commitment of your players, the ability of your players to receive what you're saying and act on it, the buffs that you can give your players through team talks. All of those things are affected, and things will just seemingly fall apart, and it's not necessarily your fault. You want to look like a genius. Keep your team happy all the time. The first thing you can do is get help. And that help can come from your assistant coach or anybody that's on your coaching staff, actually. And they just need to have a really high motivating attribute. If they have a high motivating attribute, they are going to know better what to say during team talks. So you won't end up looking like me, because you just take their recommendation every time and you'll basically always be right. Now, I wing it because I've clicked through so many team talks that I just feel like I know the right answer, but on the one occasion I did it, and it cost me an arm and a leg. If you go to the bottom right, you can switch off your assistant manager and pick any coach in your staff that is good at motivating to not only give a recommendation, but to actually handle the team talks for you, so that you can't blow it. You know what else helps? Manscaped. And they're helping extra special this time with the Ultra Premium Collection. Oh yeah. I'm talking about a leveled up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. This Ultra Premium Collection will take care of you from head to toe, which, if you are as hairy as I am, requires a lot of care. I mean, Manscaped's already trusted below the waist, so now I trust them with the rest. Shoot, I even use the shampoo. That's how I get these luscious locks. What's in this premium collection? 2-in-1 shampoo, because I don't have the time to condition and shampoo. My hair still looks this good. Body wash, hydrating moisturizer, deodorant, so you don't smell. When you order the Ultra Premium Collection, you even get a free gift, some lip balm. Got vitamins in it, and it smells like mint. The huge score, and all the stuff is dye-free, vegan-friendly, it's free everything, except for what you need. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code Zealand. So get 20% off, plus free shipping with the code Zealand Manscaped.com. It's in the link in the description. Let's see what tagline they have for us today. The power of attraction is now in a bottle, thanks to Manscaped. It's not the only thing that helps. The other thing is the hierarchy, understanding the importance of the hierarchy. You should always have a team leader. That's it. And you should always have a team leader that likes you, because a team leader that likes you is not only considered a team leader by the club, they're also on your side. That means they're probably not going to get mad at you, like when Elias Anderson was worried about playing time, but then I came to talk to him. Please be able to talk him out of it. Well, he is the captain, so... Yes! This is why I spend so much time playing Relationship Simulator. I mean, Football Manager. But when I ask Elias Anderson to talk other people out of issues that could derail my entire season because, you know, some player kicks up a fuss and a few people agree with them because they're in their social groups, which is another important thing to pay attention to. A good captain can more often than not talk people out of issues as long as that player's been at the club for at least a year and knows the captain, speaks the language, all that stuff. So if you have a good coach to help you give team talks and a good captain to diffuse things when you happen to make mistakes with playing time or whatever, then you've got all of the help in your court that you could possibly have. Make sure you keep the top of the hierarchy happy. The people at the bottom, they don't matter. I've talked about it in videos before. Don't make promises that you can't factually keep. That's gonna help keep you off the schneid. And if you're making a promise to somebody that's higher up the hierarchy, be dang sure that you can keep that, because they are more likely to have more people agree with them if they are not satisfied. Let's say you've made the crucial mistake. The crucial mistake being literally one wrong team talk, or you played a guy one less game than he was expecting, and now he is attempting to burn down the entire infrastructure of your club until there's nothing left. And there's a smoldering pile of ruin. And all you have to do is just sweep it up, throw it away, make sure you recycle, and then Dr. Benji walks by in the rain and points at you and laughs. And you just have to take it on the chin and move on, because you let some 2-bit hustler who didn't get enough playing time for breakout prospect or breakthrough prospect, or I don't even know what it's called because it doesn't matter, and he decided to destroy you. And he did. Here's how to recover from that before it happens. If you have angered a player, and this will happen quite often, the easiest solution is to sell them. You are maybe gonna have to take a discounted rate, but this is an approach that I have taken on multiple occasions in my Floridsdorfer save, because once they leave, nobody can join their party anymore. Once the player leaves, you might have to deal with one team meeting where they come to you and say, why did you do this? And if you can explain yourself well and talk your way out of it, it's over. And your club atmosphere has the opportunity to rebound. If you leave them on your team, you need to understand that they are going to have an impact on your club atmosphere until you're able to turn it around. Now, you can regain a player's trust, but you need a couple of years to do it, potentially. So if they're less than 2 years on their contract, I would seriously consider selling, no matter how much you love them. There are simpler tricks, though. If somebody is doing well in training, which you can see by clicking training and then seeing the best training performances, the worst training performances, or clicking advanced, where you go into training and individual and just sorting by training performances, and then honestly going down one at a time to anybody that's above a 7.5 and praising their training, that increases their morale. You can also yell at people who are training below a 6.5 and increase their morale. If you do this 3 times in a row in either direction, and by that I mean 3 weeks in a row, they will be mad at you. So don't do that. It's a general rule of thumb that changes a little bit based on player to player and what their hidden attributes are, but I never do it 3 times in a row, because every time I do it, they get mad. Okay, other people say they can do it, so maybe it's possible, but every time I do it, they get mad. I look like an idiot, like I'm trying to compliment their first international goal or something. Who would do that? But there's also the bona fide moneymaker, which is interactions, speak about, praise, conduct. Everybody will take that one time. It is a one-time shot in the arm of morale. And if you happen to be in a fairly poor run of form, and this is basically no matter what your club expectation is, if you haven't won in your last 4 or 5 games, especially if you just got knocked out of a competition, because what happened to me worse was kind of what happened 2 games later. Like, we just need a win, and all we get are back-to-back 0-0 draws. We just need a win to turn the locker room around, because we're getting disastrous performances from key players consistently right now. That bad team talk was at the end of my first leg of a Champions League qualifier. We ended up getting eliminated, which when you get eliminated from a big competition, that's a big shot down in atmosphere. The same way as winning in big competitions is a big shot up. It's realistic, right? If you haven't won in 4 or 5 matches, even if it's a couple of draws, and you've been eliminated from a big competition, hold a team meeting like I did and tell them to keep their head up. The dynamic, it was very good. I knocked it down to good with that team talk, and now I'm going to come in here and say, there you go. Okay. And we're back up. This is going to give a big boost to the morale of everyone at the club and can help you with a quick turnaround, because what you really need to turn things around is you need to win one game. Now, if you have some easy games coming up in the schedule, that's great news. But for me, I ended up in a really annoying I drawed at Wolfsberger situation before I finally found a way to win at Admiral Wackermödling. That was after babying the team talks in the game against Wolfsberger. I mean, babying the team talks. We would do one thing well, and I'd say, you guys are doing great. Don't be disingenuous, because if you say you're doing great and you're getting blown out, then they're not going to like that either. But if you happen to get a little unlucky and you say you got unlucky, or you're doing well and we should have scored based off the number of shots we had, those sorts of things can keep your morale afloat until you find the win. Or there's something else that can do it. See this button down here? This might be the thing that the fewest of you have thought about. If you're in a morale hole and all you need to do is win a game, right? It's the sort of hole in morale that comes from losing, comes from bad team talks, and not necessarily broken promises. Schedule a friendly, schedule a few against pretty bad teams with decent reputation and beat them. That's it. I mean, that actually helps. That gives players confidence. It gives them good match ratings. And obviously in the middle of a season, it's tough to find places to play friendlies. But if you find a bad team with decent reputation and you are able to play against them by arranging a friendly, just popping it midweek, and you decide to play your entire starting lineup 50 to 60 minutes and you win, that can have much of the same effect, and nobody will ever be the wiser. That's just classy management in my book. Classy management. And it's kind of the ace in the hole, because what you need to do, as long as the muckraking player up in your hierarchy is not on the team anymore, which is obviously only one of the situations we're talking about, is win a game. Win a game. And when you win the game, give a big, you guys are great, I freaking love you. And then you will have recovered from what could be a season derailing mismanagement of morale, just the way I did. We're back on very good now. Everybody loves me again. It's great. Also, if you found this video interesting, I recently made another video called Why FM is Harder Part 2, where we talk about player morale much more specifically around transfers and why it's more difficult in this football manager. So that is linked right here. Feel free to click on it and check it out as well.